it's been like the quietest start to spring that I can ever remember. We had the press conference the week before NCAA tournament, and both Fred Hoiberg and Amy Williams' teams, their contract extensions, the hiring of Troy Dannon. Generally on March 26th, we're knee deep talking like spring football, like it's August, but we haven't even really had to bring it up yet, which I think is good. I mean, I think
it's healthy.
It's healthy to kind of, because that's how it is at most places around the country. I don't think you're just going knee deep, but we will get access later in the week on Thursday. The team is off on the weekend, so they won't be back until Tuesday, but 3 practices will be in by Thursday. And I'd say the buzz and buildup is very low key, which I'm guessing Matt Rule doesn't mind that.
It'll pick up. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, it'll pick up. I mean, but just with this whirlwind the last 2 weeks have been, I agree, this has been the most unassuming start of spring ball that certainly I can remember. It's probably the 4th biggest headline around the state when you just take into account all that's gone on the last couple of weeks. But it is a very important spring. It's the beginning of the critical between year 1, year 2 off season, where, as every coach in the nation will tell you, that's when programs generally make their biggest jumps. You have this quarterback storyline with your most high profile quarterback recruit in recent memory coming, and you've got all these new additions at wide receiver, these playmakers on the perimeter that we haven't had in so much time. And so you got a defense coming back that's absolutely loaded. You got your defensive coordinator back, so that unit should take a step forward. So once the dust settles on all this craziness, basketball is now kind of easing into the offseason somewhat. The athletic somewhat. I say easing. The athletic director situation is now settled. Now we can probably start to really take that dive into Nebraska football the way that we normally would have weeks ago.
Yeah, it's just kind of happened organically, naturally, the way it's transpired. But it is interesting because you mentioned that Nebraska does have a good roster. Well, Matt Rule said that. He said one thing we've done well is we've put a lot of talent on the roster. Oh, okay. So let me get this straight. You've put a lot of talent on the roster, and 5 of your first 6 games are at home. Schedule early is very manageable. This could get really exciting. But you're right. So far, there hasn't been a lot of talk. Now, I would say this dawned on me when I was driving over here, and it's a common discussion we have, but it's still germane. What I will look for this spring is stars to emerge. You want stars. You want all Big Ten, obvious all Big Ten players to emerge.
New faces.
Yeah, or old faces just getting that.
Like, remember the spring out of nowhere where Roy Halou, wasn't even really a thought.
Old faces getting better. That would be good too.
Development.
But who is it? Is there some all Big Ten guys on this roster or not?
The O-line is steady, but I think on defense, you got to look there.
Okay.
And hope maybe a Javin Wright takes a step forward, or Isaac Giffords of the world.
Those are candidates.
They have an all ACC wide receiver that they just brought in.
Was he all ACC?
Second team.
Yeah. He could be a guy. Fedoni could be a guy, right? Couldn't Fedoni become that guy? He had 25 catches.
Isaiah Nayor.
Fedoni had 25 catches last year. Yeah.
Now Malachi Coleman had shoulder surgery, so he's going to be a limit. He's not going to be full go. Jeremiah Charles is somebody we've mentioned, but Jalen Lloyd.
I mean, who's the big running back they brought in?
Dowdell.
Yeah. What's that look like?
And he won't have Gabe Urban Jr. and Ramir Johnson repping. So I think there'll be a real opportunity for Dowdell to make a run.
Absolutely. I've told you guys, this is an example of spring ball. I've seldom been more interested in spring ball than I am right now. So it's been kind of weird.
Well, I think a lot of it too is just it hasn't been so saturated like it normally is, where you're talking about spring ball in March or February.
Right.
You know? So I think now that we have all these pressing questions, and the best part about it, we're finally going to get our first comments from the actual team 3 practices in. So they have a frame of reference of what these guys look like and what this picture looks like.
100.
And there's this guy on the team named Dylan Raiola. We haven't even discussed that, but
there is a guy on the team named Dylan Raiola.
That Raiola angle of that young quarterback is going to be the story of the spring.
How are we going to approach that, guys? I mean, I wonder about this. Do you, right out of the gate on Thursday, do you start asking guys about Raiola?
You have to.
Or do you wait a little
You
bit?
have to.
He's
the story. Give me a break. Like, he's a true freshman that could be the starting quarterback.
Rob just dropped to give me a break on me.
I mean, I don't even know if it's a conversation.
The
Like,
pro day
Well, how do you
video.
do it though? Like you say, how's he looking?
yes,
You know,
right out of the gate.
just simple.
I mean, first you ask about the team, like assuming Matt Rule talks
Yeah.
Thursday, then you get the big picture stuff. How about Dylan? How's the
that
transition
picture
going?
look?
You talked about how he's done this offseason and the mat drills and all that stuff. What's the football picture look like?
Yeah.
Is he holding his own?
The pro day video we posted, which was not meant to be a Dylan Raiola deal, video of him throwing routes to the running backs and receivers of Nebraska's pro day workout guys, has 25,200 views.
Oh yeah, Thursday is also going to be a photo day, so we get to watch the first 30 minutes or so of practice. So we'll have
I'm gonna
more.
watch the safeties.
More
And Sip and I feel
delve into the tight end.
I mean, I do feel you and I were in Hawaii
Yes.
all week, and we got to watch Raiola every day
Got a
for
good
like
feel.
3 hours a day. So, like I'm not going to be surprised by anything we see from him. We've seen him enough already. It's a matter of, is he ready for it all?
Mhm.
Right. And I mean, the reports we hear, we just hear stuff like, because we cover the team, that he is, and Rule mentioned this, he has 10:30 lifting a.m., but he shows up at 6 a.m. to throw. Okay. He's a 6 a.m. guy. And he's encouraged receivers and tight ends to join him. I would love to know who's always there,
Mhm.
who's not, who he has to drag out of bed, who won't get out of bed. I mean, I'd like to know all that.
And those guys exist.
Absolutely. But Dylan, that tells you a lot about him right there, that 6 a.m., he's throwing. He doesn't have to lift till 10:30. I mean, I know he treats it like, he has said this, he treats it like, look, he's got the best facilities in the world at his disposal every day. I'm going to use them. These are, look at this facility I got. It's like a big resort, and I'm going to have fun.